Winter is not over yet.
Step outside and you'll feel it. A May cold front is here. So is the rain with snow.
I'm tracking this storm that's bringing snow to the metro area. I'll let you know how much you can expect in your neighborhood.
Your morning drive might have been manageable, but CDOT is warning that the changing weather will likely make your commute home worse.
It will eventually turn to slush and slick conditions, particularly on the I-70 mountain corridor.
And it's the perfectly worst timing for high school graduations happening outside. Some are sticking with original plans, while others are scrambling to move inside. Man, what a difference 24 hours makes. Rain, snow, and colder temperatures have moved into the Front Range. You're looking live from Lookout Mountain. Yeah, quite the view out there. And then from downtown Denver. And the wintry weather is sticking around pretty much all weekend. You can see a pretty busy radar out there right now. Those colors are going to change as we go through the weekend. There's been rain and snow falling pretty much all morning. And here's where some of that snow is already falling right now. This is actually a live picture, or might be some live stills from Central City. Some parts of the high country could see more than a foot of snow when we're all said and done. Now, we have team coverage this morning, and we want to start off with meteorologist Stacey Donaldson, who's tracking really the mess that has started and will continue. Stace.
That's right. We're just at the front end of this as it continues going into our weekend. So we have a pretty active radar out there with rain and snowfall. We've had reports up towards Steamboat of already 8 inches of snow on the ground. Here for the Front Range, it's mostly rainfall that's been moving on through. Definitely higher elevations, getting more snowfall, and that's been the expected outlook here for the next 24 hours is intense snowfall at times up in the high country. And then we'll have rain mixed with snow. As we go through our day, the temperatures will keep falling here. So at this point, we have rain right over Metro Denver in green, and then we have snow on either side from Evergreen out toward Watkins and Bennett. But as we go through the rest of our day, you see that changes over to snowfall here around Metro Denver. That rain snow line just off to our northeast. So it's rain up toward Platteville, Greeley, and Fort Morgan, and then down to the south, snowfall from Castle Rock to Highlands Ranch into Denver, and that is into tonight. Now, we still have high fire danger for southwestern Colorado, but a lot of watches and warnings for winter weather here over the next 24 hours. A winter storm warning here for the Front Range. And then freeze warnings tonight. Bring in all of those plants, cover anything that you can, because our temperatures are going to be very cold. And it looks like about 12 to 24 inches up in the higher elevations, 5 to 11 off to our west. But we're going to be talking about how much we expect here in Denver coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Stacey, thank you. Let's get outside into this weather. We've been seeing a mix of rain, snow, and fog along I-70 really all morning. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford reports on those changing conditions.
The word of the day here in this area is change, because what we saw yesterday with all of that hot weather compared to what we're seeing today, having to wear a hat, having to wear gloves, a lot has changed, and a lot has changed just within the past 2 hours. When we first arrived here in Genesee, we were seeing more rain. Now this rain has definitely transitioned over to snow. I'm going to give you a look right now at the conditions on I-70. So a lot of slick conditions on the roads. We have not seen any crashes or anything like that. And we also have not seen snow accumulate on the roads, but we definitely are seeing wet roadways. So that's something that drivers are going to want to pay attention to. Another thing that really stands out was just the change in how fast the temperature dropped. Starting out our day in Denver, it was in the 40s. Now it's hovering around freezing here in Genesee. So another thing that you're going to want to pay attention to on this weather action day. Here in Genesee, I'm Jessica Crawford.
Now, CDOT says employees are ready for this upcoming storm. Let's take a live look at some of the roads out there. Not too much sticking there, but still a whole lot of precipitation. The rain expected again to change over to snow, making that drive a whole lot more difficult, really, for anybody trying to hit the roads. Now, CDOT says warm pavement temps will turn the snow into heavy slush in areas, particularly on the I-70 mountain corridor. They're asking drivers to definitely plan ahead.
We're urging motorists to monitor weather conditions, to watch Channel 7 News, to find out the latest of what's going on, and to take it extra careful. As I said, winter is not over yet.
So be on the alert for avalanches as well if you're up in the high country this weekend. The Avalanche Information Center says the risk in the northern mountains will rise to considerable tomorrow. In the central mountains, the threat will rise to moderate, meaning heightened conditions. The threat in the southern mountains will stay low. Well, we might need the moisture, but this cold rain and snow is not the most welcome sight for high school graduates, and schools hosting graduation ceremonies this weekend. Many are usually outside. This year, that's iffy at best. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live from Red Rocks, where at least one ceremony still going on outside today. Veronica, these grads and you, they need parkas, they need those umbrellas to go along with their caps and gowns.
The parents who were sitting out on the stands really needed those parkas and those umbrellas, and they definitely had them with them. The graduation itself, the ceremony, just wrapped up not too long ago. I mean, we're used to this. We've seen bigger snowstorms, but we did have a really warm day yesterday, so it is a little bit more jarring to see it today. Like I mentioned, those parents, friends, family, they all showed up in droves. They were ready to watch their loved ones graduate. Take a listen and look at this.
Graduates, you may now turn your tassels from the right to the left.
And take a look at this video. You see it there, all of those umbrellas all around for friends and family in the stands. Everyone back in their winter gear, of course. Some of those people you see there, they were dressed in those ponchos ready for the rain. Others to cover under trees. And then, of course, there were those who just chose to maybe sit on a blanket and brave the conditions out here. Though all of them here to celebrate those lucky students who actually got to sit under the stage, so they weren't at least getting hit by all of that snow. Now, not every school gets to continue with their graduation here at Red Rocks. Other schools did have to cancel their later ceremonies this afternoon. Several high schools across the Front Range are scrambling to find some backup locations as well. The Boulder Valley School District has changed either the day, time, or place, or in some cases all three, for 5 high school graduations. And like I mentioned, those other 2 high schools that were set to have their graduations at Red Rocks here, one at 2 p.m., one at 7 p.m. this afternoon, they are now going to be having those here. As you can see, conditions not too great. So they're moving indoors over to the Denver Coliseum. They still get to celebrate, though. That's the good news. We're live in Jefferson County. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Yeah, and enjoy those snowy grad parties this weekend to follow, Veronica. Thank you so much. Now, it's also a big weekend for high school sports. CHSAA postponed today's track and field state championships. They say it could happen Saturday afternoon, but that depends on the conditions. The semifinal round of the girls and boys lacrosse tournaments have been moved to Sunday and Monday. Several other big events have also been canceled or postponed. You can find a list of those changes. That's up right now on thedenverchannel.com. The Rockies, meanwhile, they open a 3-game series with the Mets tonight. So excited. I just want to run out to Coors Field. But so far, there hasn't been any word yet if tonight or this weekend's games will be postponed. Now, Empower Field is getting ready to host one of the biggest concerts that Denver's really seen all year. Luke Combs is playing there tomorrow. Rain, snow, or shine. Now, Air Tracker 7 flew over Empower Field yesterday to see the preparations that were underway there. Now, there is a covering on the field for the stage for chairs and front row seats. One thing to keep in mind is parking. There's a warning about parking on Empower Field's website. Some people who went to Monster Jam recently out at the stadium missed some or all of the event because they got stuck in traffic out there near the stadium. Now, the cold weather today and this weekend means you might want to protect the plants in your yard. Experts say their biggest piece of advice is protect whatever is most important to you and whatever costs the most, and use what you have around the house to do it. Here's what one expert recommended: you get covered and do so quickly.
If you have planted your tomatoes, your eggplant, bell peppers, those kinds of things are really sensitive to the frost, and you will have to cover them and protect them in some way. Perennials are a lot tougher. Their root system is underground, so you might lose some above ground flowers.
Well, here's some other tips for plants in pots. Use a wooden stake and plastic to protect them from the frost. That's what I did on my front porch this morning. A plastic bucket with a rock on top or another pot will help cover smaller flowers that are in the ground. And for trees, use a broom to knock snow off from the bottom branches first, then work your way up. And of course, we're going to be tracking the rain and snow throughout the day, and you can get 24/7 Colorado weather updates and live radar on your TV. Just download the free Denver 7 Plus app for your favorite streaming device.
Sod will take it and put game 2 away.
This morning, the Avs no longer undefeated in the playoffs after losing to the Blues in Game 2, 4-1 last night. That now evens the second round series. The Blues really came to play, putting pressure on the Avs goalie Darcy Kemper really from the start. St. Louis took a 2-0 lead into the third period. The Avs were able to get a goal, but then the Blues answered with 2 more late in the third. Now the series heads to St. Louis with the Blues right back in it.
They answered back after a bad night in game one. Now the onus is on us. We have to do the exact same thing. So we'll make a couple adjustments, and we're going to have to get back to work.
They had a good start, and for whatever reason, we just couldn't execute. And they just kind of kept coming, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. But we need a better start. I think we can learn from that.
Now the next two games are in St. Louis. Game 3 is tomorrow night at 6. Game 4 is Monday. Game 5 will be back at Ball Arena on Wednesday. Still ahead, President Biden heads overseas, ready to promote his plan to grow U.S. manufacturing.